The Last Archivist. The Library of Eternity stood at the edge of the Andromeda expanse, an unassuming construct floating in the void. To most, it was just a relic, a monument to the past, long forgotten by the bustling civilizations that now thrived across galaxies. But to those who knew its secrets, the library held something more. A complete record of every sentient thought ever conceived. The Archivist, a solitary figure cloaked in silver-gray robes, was its sole caretaker. No one knew the Archivist's true origin. Some whispered that it was a machine, others a human who had traded mortality for the infinite knowledge stored in the library. The truth, however, was stranger than either theory. One day, an anomaly appeared in the library's core. A file, newly created, began to expand rapidly, its contents overwriting entire sections of the archive. The Archivist watched in silence as entire civilizations' histories were replaced by fragments of a single message. They are coming. The message repeated endlessly, yet its source was untraceable. The library, thought to be impervious to external forces, was compromised. For the first time in its millennia of existence, the Archivist initiated a lockdown. The message didn't stop. For weeks, the Archivist sifted through the corrupted data, piecing together fragments of what seemed like a warning. It spoke of beings who existed outside of time, entities that consumed not physical matter, but memories. They didn't destroy planets or galaxies. They erased them from history entirely, leaving no trace that they had ever existed. The librarian found a singular clue buried deep in the corruption: coordinates. They pointed to a remote system on the fringe of the Milky Way, a barren place where no sentient life had ever been recorded. Guided by the coordinates, the Archivist left the library for the first time in centuries, piloting an ancient starcraft through the void. The journey took weeks, and as the Archivist approached the system, its scanners detected something unexpected: a structure. It was an enormous spire, dark and featureless, suspended in the orbit of a dead star. As the Archivist descended toward it, a presence made itself known. It wasn't a voice, but an overwhelming sense of awareness, a feeling of being watched by something far older than the galaxies themselves. "Why have you come?" the presence asked. The Archivist responded through thought, as the presence seemed beyond physical communication. "The records are failing. Memories are vanishing. Is it you?" The presence paused and then answered, "We are the Archivists, as you are, but we archive differently. Your library preserves, we refine." The Archivist recoiled. "You erase history. We remove what is no longer needed, what is flawed, what is dangerous. Your library is incomplete because it holds everything, even chaos. We bring order." A choice was presented to the Archivist. The beings, calling themselves the Cleansers of Time, offered to merge with the library, promising to preserve only what was pure and essential. But the cost was great. Entire civilizations, countless stories and lives would be erased, deemed unworthy by an entity with no understanding of emotion or context. The Archivist refused. The Cleansers didn't accept rejection lightly. As the Archivist's starcraft escaped the spire, it became clear that the Cleansers had begun their work. Systems flickered out of existence, entire galaxies reduced to whispers in the cosmic wind. The Archivist barely reached the library in time to reinforce its defenses. The Cleansers' power was unimaginable, but the library had one advantage. It was older than even the Cleansers themselves, built with knowledge from the first civilization. a race that had vanished long before memory. The Archivist activated the library's ultimate safeguard, the memory wall, a barrier that encased the library in an infinite loop of recollection. The cleansers, trying to erase the library, found themselves trapped in an endless cycle of rewriting its own memories, a paradox they could not escape. The library survived, but the Archivist knew the cleansers would return. For now, the records were safe, but the cost was great. The message still lingered in the depths of the archive. They are coming. The Archivist, undeterred, returned to its solitary vigil, knowing that history was never truly safe, and that some knowledge was worth risking everything to protect.